So, for the test, there are going to be 42 questions, and they're all going to be multiple choice. So, 42 questions.
It's recording.
All multiple choice. I know it's recording. So I can post this to other people. All right. You need to know all of the about Lucy, and you need to know all of the inferences that relate to Lucy. That she was bipedal, and that she is related to modern humans based on similarities in her hips and her feet, but she's also related to apes due to the similarity in her cranial, in her face, in her head, and some of the other bones in the body, which you guys discovered when you did the evidence for evolution activity, when you guys were pretending to be physical anthropologists and you were comparing the human bones to the chimpanzee bones to the mystery fossil. The mystery fossil was Lucy. All right. You do need to know what a hominid is. Don't forget, hom and human share the same base root word. It means human or man.
Yeah, because Ham in it.
Yeah.
Homo
And
sapien.
Homo sapien means thinking man. And inid means like. So these are all the bipedal primates. So you need to know what those are. You need to know, if I give you a statement, you need to tell me once again if it was evidence or if that statement is an inference. So evidence or inference. So if I give you a statement, you need to be able to tell me, is that statement evidence or is that statement inference? Which is it? Okay. Vocabulary, you'll need to know some of the vocabulary, some of the really important ones, especially the ones that were on the quiz. So like population will also be on this. Model will also be on this. For model, you also need to know why we use them. Okay, you'll have to know what this type of growth is called. Exponential. And you have to know, back from chapter 1, what this type of growth is called. Or actually not know what this type of growth is, but you have to be able to recognize that this is how organisms actually grow. So that's how organisms tend to grow, where they level off after a while. You'll have to know about variation, overproduction, or over-reproduction, depending on what textbook you read. You'll have to know how to read a histogram. And you'll have to know how to make a good histogram. You're not going to actually make one, but there might be something missing from the histogram, and you'll have to fill it in, or suggestions on how to make the histogram given better. You'll have to know how to read a differential survival graph. That one's going to be just like the one that you guys made when you had the bean game, when you played the bean game. So where you have generation 1, generation 2, generation 3, right? And let's say I only have 3 populations, make it a little bit easier for me to draw, right? And I'll make this one dark. I'll make this one dotted. And so in this graph here, which of the three bars would represent an organism with the most fitness? Those type of questions. So which of the three bars represents the most fitness? This is population size, and this is generation. Which bar would represent an organism with the best fitness? The dark one, right? Because the bar is getting the biggest out of all of them. Which one probably has the least adaptations for the environment? The white one, yeah, the clear one, because it went down the smallest. So you have to know how fitness and adaptations play into these graphs. Okay. Okay, a lot of questions about Lamarckian evolution and a lot of questions about Darwinian evolution. Okay, so Lamarck, you'll need to know that Lamarck proposed inheritance of acquired characteristics. And Darwin, okay, Darwin proposed natural selection. Okay. So you need to know what an acquired characteristics is. You need to know the steps of natural selection in order to do well in these. You'll need to know that Lamarck would have said an individual wants or needs something. Okay, and so because of that, in Lamarckian evolution, the individual evolves, whereas in natural selection, it is populations that evolve. You're going to be given lots evolve. You're going to be given lots of examples of those. Yep, that's why I am recording it. Yep. I'll put it on YouTube. All right, so populations evolve in this case, individuals evolve in this case. Now, you'll need to know for natural selection. The steps involved in it. Like story-based. Like how and why did the bacteria evolve? How and why did the birds get the bigger beaks on Galapagos Islands after the drought? How and why the giraffes got longer necks? What steps did natural selection occur in? Right? Start with variation and overproduction. Those two things can happen at about the same time. And then typically there's an environmental change. That environmental change is called a selective pressure. Because of that environmental change, those that got lucky and got born with the good traits, they are more likely to survive and reproduce than those that got unlucky and got born with the bad traits. So over time, as they passed on those good traits, as the good traits get passed on, as the adaptations get passed on, those adaptations, those good traits become more and more prevalent in the population. You'll need to know artificial selection. In that natural selection, the environment chooses the best trait, and in artificial selection, humans choose the best trait. Okay. You have to know how to do relative dating. So if I have 3 layers of rock, I have rock A, rock B, and I have rock C, and I have a fossil here, and I have a fossil here. Which fossil is older? C, right? The older ones are down here. If I date this layer of rock at 250 million years ago, and I date this rock at 60 million years ago, what do I know about the age of this fossil?
Older.
It's older than 250 million years. And what do I know about this fossil?
It's younger than 250.
It's younger than 250 and older than 60. So this fossil here needs to be between 60 and 250 million years old. And this fossil here is greater than 250 million years old. Okay, you need to know a paleobiologist and a physical anthropologist. Okay. Paleobiologist, don't forget paleo means ancient. Ancient. Bio means living. And logos means study of. So ist means someone who studies ancient living things. So this is all life. Paleobiologists study all life. Physical anthropologists, physical means the traits that you can see. Anthrop means humans. Logist. So the traits of humans. Now, also though, in order to understand the humans, physical anthropologists, at least in our class, also studied hominids, also studied related hominids. Okay, so physical anthropologists can be paleobiologists, but not all paleobiologists are physical anthropologists. So be as specific as possible. You'll need to know what the evidence says the approximate age of the Earth was. 4.6 billion. If you can't remember 4.6, 4.5 billion, just know billions. We're not going to be mean to you. We're not going to say 4.5 billion, 4.2 billion, 3.9 billion, 5.8 billion. We're going to say like 4.5 billion, 4.5 million, 450,000, 45,000. Billions of years, 4.5 billion years, or 4.8, depending on what book you read, anywhere from 4.2 to 4.8 billions of years. Okay, and then you need to know what a scientific theory is, and how evolution is a scientific theory. Okay, so that covers all 42 questions. If you did the study guide, you should realize that all 42 questions are represented by questions within the study guide. Okay, I would say about 20% of it is understanding natural selection, stories about natural selection. About 25% of it is Darwin versus Lamarck, like, you know. And then there's another 20 or so percent that are reading graphs, understanding charts. There's another 20 to 25% that is vocabulary, but it's the easy vocabulary. It's the vocabulary that we hit hard. So it's hominids, it's population, it's the really important ones. Model, the really important ones.
14 that were on the quiz or no test?
Focus on the ones that were on the quiz. Yeah, the ones that were on the quiz, those are the ones that I felt were most important. So those are the ones that are going to be most represented in the test. Yeah.